Hello and welcome to another episode of A Picture in 1,000 Words. This one's a lot. What you're staring at has got quite a bit going on. There's a lot of torque in this picture. One of my dear friends uses the term eye rapey, which I know is terrible, but it's hilarious at the same time, and I'll only say it once. Anyway, to help you understand what it is you're looking at, let me sort of take it apart piece by piece. So the word in the middle is empathy. And it's got two colors, one white, one black, to kind of give you a sense of binary. And it also has this interesting effect of a la Angels and Demons, which is fun. And then across the top, you have 7 words: fear, hate, rage, pain, lust, joy, love. And they're in assorted, rounded, colored boxes. And then also a picture behind it that is in color of people staring at you. And then at the bottom, similarly, except the bottom half of this one is black and white, and you have love, joy, lust, pain, rage, hate, fear across the bottom. And if you'll notice, if you look at the vertical relationship of the rounded off squares, fear is above love, hate is above joy, rage is above lust, etc. And so that's sort of the dimensions of what it is that you're looking at. Now let me see if I can explain what's going on here. So every emotion that we feel, traditionally speaking, is on the spectrum of love and fear. Those are sort of the two baseline emotions that we feel. And things like joy and lust and pain and rage and hate and fear and hate are sort of along that spectrum. And what's interesting is that pain is the hinge point. Lust and rage, joy and hate, there's a binariness to it. And pain kind of is it's almost one-dimensional. It's just a question of degree, essentially. And as I pointed out earlier, each one of these rounded off squares is above, it's essentially its inverse as I have presented it. And so by making the bottom half black and white, I'm essentially demonstrating that you as a person, in an intrinsic sense of the word, myself included, we are on this spectrum of gray. All of our emotions are in this black and white spectrum, and shades of gray is constructive, but it's not that complex, if you can imagine, because you know you're emotional, you're the one that's experiencing it. And that's intrinsic. Now, if you think extrinsic, so now looking outward, so looking at others, both individually and collectively, things are much more complex. And they're no longer on shades of gray, but it's on a shade of infinity, or color, or polka dots, or checkers, or God knows what else. And you can really only judge somebody, or you can only make an observation of that range of emotion based on their actions. That's about as much as you can determine based on what they're doing. But hence the overlay between the two: one person's fear can be another person's love. One person's hate can be another person's joy. So it is very easy for us to misinterpret what is on the other side. It may look like something, but it may be driven from a totally different place. And this includes all emotion, good and bad. But what's distinct here is the word pain. Because pain, whether it's in somebody else, maybe it's more obscured, as you can see the white over the clouds, it's maybe a little harder to see, or there's pain in yourself, which is pain over a whitish shirt. That's very clear, you can see that. We know that we all experience pain, whether it be in us or whether it be in somebody else. But we all know it exists, and it is one-dimensional. It is common to all of us. And the reason why it isn't covered up is because we can each see it. And the way that we see it is through empathy. That is what empathy is. It is seeing somebody else's pain and caring. And going back to the picture that's behind this, you have all of these people that are looking at you. And some are more dramatic than others, but essentially everybody has a neutral expression. And I think what's interesting is I would bet a majority of you watching this, looking at this, are thinking the word judgment. You're thinking, what did I do? What are they going to, how are they going to perceive my actions? How are they going to judge me on this spectrum of love, joy, lust, rage, hate, fear? when in reality it could just as easily be compassion. It could just as easily be like, oh my goodness, you just fell down. Can we help you get back up? And I wish that that was what we all felt. And that is something that is worth holding on to. And it's a big one for me. And it comes up a lot in all this garbage that I do. But empathy is the crux of all of it. And it really dictates who and how we are as people, or if we choose to be. But that's the message I wanted to get across. I appreciate sitting through this intense visual experience. A few added layers. All of the colors are color matched to the colors that the people are wearing, so it has that nice blended look. If I were to just do like red or purple, it would be more robust, and this allows it to sort of look more familiar because they're color matched. What's interesting is that the ones across the top are also color matched to each other. So what is the fill color on fear is the font color on love. So even more torque if you can stand it. There are these image changing features that you can do in PowerPoint that are really cool, where you can make something black and white, or you can make it translucent to kind of give these effects. Because if I were to just put these boxes over those faces, it would be too intense for you to be able to see it. You need some contrast, and that's what those picture effects do. The empathy one was tricky. I had to go searching for an ambigram generator. It came out okay. I think it could probably be better, but that's what I could find. And then similar effects at the bottom with the various shades of gray, etc. But this is a fun one. I'm still doing stuff like this professionally. I love making slides, and I'm doing it in a freelance capacity. That's where I'm at now. If you're curious to know more about me, just ping me or LinkedIn me or whatever. But thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoyed it.